Students, today we are going to begin with the new chapter, that is sixth chapter from geography, elements of weather and climate. In the last chapter we have studied about the atmosphere and the layers of the atmosphere. So now here in this chapter we are going to discuss in deep about the weather and climate and the elements of its and the factors affecting on this. So before we start the chapter, at the beginning here we should know the concept that weather and the climate. So first we will go to weather. So weather refers to the state of atmosphere at a particular place which is subject to change in a short period of time. See here in short it is the definition of weather, that weather is nothing but the state of atmosphere. Okay, weather is the state of atmosphere at a particular place, and which is subject to the change in short period of time. It means what? It means weather is the study of a state of atmosphere, okay, in a particular place, in a fixed place for a fixed and short period of time. In particular period of time, how the atmosphere is there, either it is hot, either it is cold, either it is humid. So this refers to the weather. It means all this weather is state of atmosphere in a particular place for the short period of time. Weather can change hour to hour, day to day, month to month, or even year to year. Okay, so whether it gets changed, it's weather is a changing process. Okay, it can change in even hour to hour. Okay, so now the atmosphere is different, weather is different after 1 hour. It can be different. Okay, it can differ from day to day also. So it can differ from month to month. Okay, so particularly even year to year. So these changes can take place in weather. Okay, but generally the weather is considered for the state of atmosphere and for the short period of time. Then for example, the changes in amount of rainfall, snowfall, dust, storms, etc., that happen every day in the atmosphere. Okay, so the changes in rainfall. Okay, in some months we can get the good rainfall, in some months there is the drought, in some months there is the atmosphere is hot, some in some months atmosphere is chilly, even in some time of day, that in the afternoon time it is hot and in the evening time it is cool atmosphere. So such type of changes are considered as the weather. Okay, so more about weather we will learn. We know that during certain months of a year, similar weather conditions persist, which we refer to as season. Okay, generally what happens in particular months of the year. Okay, there are some same situations, atmospheric situation can be seen, same type of weather is found there in some particular months of the year. So that particular months or that period is known as the season. So as we can consider that in India, generally the month of March to June, okay, or May, it is considered as the summer, because lot of heat is found in this period. So atmosphere is very hot here, so weather is hot, temperature is more. Then June to September, it is found generally most of the rainy days are there, rainfall is mostly found in this period, so therefore it is considered as the rainy season. Okay, and the period from October to February, we can say, that is considered as the winter season. So it means what, like this, these 4 months each, the set of 4 months in a year, that having 3 seasons, because in that particular period the same weather conditions are found. Therefore such type of same weather conditions are found in a particular period, so that period is known as the season. So thus a season is the period in a year that is distinguished by a particular set of weather condition, as already I have explained you in the prior point that. So in a particular period, when there is the equal and similar weather conditions, that period of the weather is called as the season. Then seasons occur due to the inclination of the earth's axis and revolution of the earth around the sun. As already you may have studied this in previous standard about the revolution and rotation of the earth. Earth revolves around the sun, and because of that there happens the changes in season. So how it can, I can explain you with the help of this picture. Maybe this picture you have seen in the previous standard, that if you can look towards the left side of your end, see there we will start from the summer solstice, that's generally found on the 21st of June. In this period, so earth is tilted towards the sun. Which portion of the earth? That the northern hemisphere, and the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, therefore it get more heat, therefore it is found summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. Then adversely the situation changes on 22nd of December, that is called the winter solstice. That winter hemisphere, northern hemisphere is tilted opposite to the sun, and southern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. So it means what? Because of this revolution process, and again here two seasons are there, equinox are there. 23rd of September you can get autumn and spring now respectively in northern and southern hemisphere, and same is the case where there on the 21st of March, that is second equinox, that spring and autumn respectively in northern and southern hemispheres are found. So this is the process of revolution, and because of this the seasons get occur on the earth, because earth is tilted at one side, and whenever the tilted side turns towards the sun, then it that season, that area will have the hot weather. So it means we can say the summer. So it means this is the main process of changing seasons on the earth, that is revolution. So the now we have studied in deep about the climate. Now the next thing, that is the climate. Okay, we have studied about weather. Now climate. See, climate refers to average weather conditions extending over a relatively long period of time, about 35 years it can be considered in a particular region. Okay, so here we have studied already that weather, that is the atmospheric state in a particular place and for the short term of period, but here climate is considered as the average weather conditions. Okay, nearly in a extensive area. Okay, and it is considered about the 35 years minimum. Okay, so in this 35 years or in a particular scheduled time period, long scheduled time period, average weather conditions are considered, and that is known as the climate. So weather, that is the short period atmospheric state, and the climate is considered as the average atmospheric state of the particular period for the particular long period for the particular region. So here unlike the weather, climate remains constant over a long period of time. Okay, so as it is studied in definition that climatic conditions are studied in the long period of time, then different parts of the world have different climates. Okay, so on earth the climate is not found same because of the because earth shape is geoid shape. Okay, and because of that the equator is closer to the sun more than the polar regions. So therefore equators have more heat, it means more temperature. The climatic conditions in the on the equator are different from the polar regions, and in between also because of the topographic changes, topographic structure of the earth, the every area that differs from climate. Okay, then types of the climate. The first one, that is the an equatorial climate. Some parts of the world are hot and rainy nearly every day. It is what and the second is a polar climate. Others are cold, it means rather than the equatorial area, other areas are cold and snow covered most of the year. So let me explain this with the help of this figure. This is the globe. On that globe the imaginary lines are there, equator is on center. So see the area close to the equator, it means from equator to towards polewards, north polewards, and even on the south polewards. See some areas that is facing towards the sun. Because of that this area is having more temperature, more heat is there. So because directly the sun rays are radiated and absorbed by this portion of the earth, because of that this area is the equatorial climatic zone, where the temperature is always high and nearly the rainfall is found frequently in this area. Okay, but if you consider towards the poles, I mean north pole and south pole, these are farther from the sun. Because of that and because of the tilted position of the earth, these two poles they get very less heat radiated by the sun. Because of these two reasons here the temperature is very low, and here resultantly this area is having the cold atmosphere, and generally here the area is mostly found the snow covered area because of the chilly atmosphere, the cold atmosphere. Okay, so these are the two types of climate. So here we have studied about the two main things that we are studying in this chapter, that the weather and the climate. Okay, so now we are going to study in deep about the difference between these two factors, that is weather and climate. Already that we have studied the same points, I will reread here. And it weather, it refers to the state of the atmosphere at a particular place which is subject to change in short period of time. Okay, whereas the climate, it refers an average conditions extending over relatively long period of time in a particular region. Okay, it means weather, that is the short term atmospheric state, and climate, in the simple words we can say that it is a long term atmospheric state. Weather is temporary and keeps changing. Okay, as we already we have studied that weather can change and even hour to hour, also day to day, but it is not the case with the climate. That climate is permanent and remains stable for a long period of time. Okay, so it is for the long period of time and permanently. Okay, then it is generally, weather is generally prevails over a small area. Okay, weather conditions, atmospheric state, that is considered in a that is counted in a small area, but climate that prevails over the large area. Okay, it prevails over the large area, it means climatic situations that prevail more in the large areas to work, and weather conditions that are generally found in helpful in the works in smaller areas. Okay, because in smaller areas generally the atmospheric changes, it get change frequently, but on the large area an average that changes are found rare. Okay, so now after studying this after getting clear with these two concept, that is the climate and weather, we are going to study about the elements of the weather. So here it is the list of all the elements, 6 elements of the weather are there. temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, evaporation, and condensation, and precipitation. These are the major 6 elements of weather, and we are going to study in detail one by one in what way these elements of weather affect on the weather and the climate on a particular area. So first we will begin with the temperature. Temperature, first we will know what is the temperature. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of air at any time, any given time. Okay, it means temperature is the degree. Okay, degree is frequency of hotness and coldness. Okay, either it is hot or cold, so that is in a particular region in a given time. Temperature is one of the most important elements that influence us, as well as the other elements like humidity, precipitation, etc. Okay, so why the temperature is an important element of the weather? Because that is most important for human beings also, because it is needed to maintain the temperature of the earth for life to live. Okay, for human beings and for animals. So as well as it is important for the another two elements of the weather, that are humidity and precipitation. Okay, so if there is more temperature, the humidity will be more. If there is the less temperature, the humidity will be less. Why it is? Because if the temperature is more, the water evaporation will be more in amount, so it means water vapors will mix with the atmosphere more, so humidity will be created, and because of that, because of creation of more water vapors, it helps to get the rainfall. It means that is the precipitation. So it means for these both the two other elements of the weather, temperature is useful. Okay, then it stands very vary from place to place and season to season. Okay, so temperature, it get changed, it is variable everywhere, because the temperature is more in the temperate zone as compared to it in the moderate zone, that is lesser. Then if we go towards the uh, polar regions, it means that is the frigid zones. There in that area the temperature is very less. Okay, so in this way here temperature is important part, that is from where earth absorb the temperature, that is from the radiation. So what is radiation? The energy radiated by the sun is called the solar radiation. Okay, the heat or the energy that is radiated, it means exerted by the sun, that is called the solar radiations. So these solar radiations are absorbed by the earth. Okay, but earth absorbs very less number of radiations from the sun. So as here it is told that the earth absorbs very small part of radiated heat from the sun, only about how much it absorbs, that only about 1 in 200 million of the solar radiations. It means what? If the if sun is exerting the 200 million radiations, then out of that only one radiation is absorbed by the earth. Okay, it means you can think over that how small part, how much of the small portion of the total heat radiated by the sun is absorbed by the earth. Okay, so the solar radiation that is received by earth is called insolation. Okay, so the energy radiated by the solar sun is called solar radiations, and when that solar radiations are uh, absorbed by the earth, okay, that time they are called the insolations. Okay, so solar radiations received by the earth are called insolation. So now we will go in deep of the insolation here. The amount of insolation is maximum near equator, and decreases with the increasing latitudes. Is it? So it's obvious that the amount of insolation is maximum near the equator. Why it is? Because equator is the portion very closer than the polar towards the sun. Okay, therefore first rays of the sun, they reaches at first on the equator. So therefore the insolation rate on the equator is more, and it is less on the polar regions. If we go from equator to the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, then Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, North Pole and South Pole, at these steps, okay, every time the rate of insolation, the amount of insolation, it get changed, because as we go towards the North Pole or South Pole, okay, as we go these both sides of the poles from equator, the distance between the sun and the surface of earth, it get increases. Okay, because of that the insolation rate is lesser, okay, than the insolation rate on equator. Okay, the amount of insolation not only differs from place to place but also with the time. Okay, see, amount of insolation not only differs from place to place, it means difference insolation varies place to place, as well as it varies from time to time also, because the insolation process, it get reduces as well as increases. It get reduces whenever there is the less number of amount of solar radiations reached at earth surface. Okay, it means the sunny area at that time. Okay, whenever there is the sunny clouds are there in the sky, and because of that the radiations are not directly reaching to the earth surface. So because of that time the insolation rate is low. Okay, so if there is the sky is very open, that time the solar radiations are directly reaching at the surface of the earth. So because of that, at that time the insolation rate is more. It means the insolation rate, it changes place to place, as well as it changes time to time also. Insolation is influenced by factors such as the inclination of the sun's rays and duration of daylight. Okay, so insolation that is influenced by the inclination of sun rays. Inclination of sun rays, it means the sun rays towards the uh, polar regions. Okay, the regions rather than the equators. Okay, North Pole, South Pole. Okay, towards these regions the solar radiations are inclined, tilted. Okay, because of that they get less heat of amount. Okay, less amount of heat, the regions, polar regions, but it get more because the sun rays are directly falling on the equator. There is not tilting or inclination of sun rays. So because of that the direct radiations are reaching at the surface of the earth on equator, and on polar regions they are getting tilted or inclined. Because of that the insolation rate towards the polar region is less, and on the equator it is more. The another thing it is said here, that sun's rays and duration of daylight. Okay, so duration of daylight, so how much of the long duration of the day, that much of amount will be more of insolation, because at the night time the sun is towards the other side of earth. Because of that the another phase of earth, that is it doesn't get sunlight. Okay, so because of that, in the if the duration of day is more, then the insolation rate is also more. If the duration of day is less, then the insolation rate is also less. Okay, so here measurement of the temperature. How the temperature is measured? The instrument used for measuring temperature is the thermometer. Okay, thermometer, that is the instrument which is used for the temperature. Generally this thermometer you may have seen in your science lab, as well as you have seen this in the hands of doctors when you are going towards him for the checking of your body temperature. The thermometer is given in your hand or on in your mouth. So with that, with the help of the mercury that is found in thermometer, okay, the doctor get know the how much of temperature of your body is. So the thermometer works on the principle that mercury expands when heated and contracts on cooling. Okay, so when mercury is heated, it get expands. Okay, it extends from the place, it spreads from the place, and when it is heated, and when it is cooled down, it get contracted. Okay, so it means it get contracted at one place, and when it is heated, then it expands. So because of that, here mercury is used in the in thermometer. There are generally the two scales which are used for the measurement of temperature. Two scales are used for the measurement of temperature. That one is the Celsius, and the second is the Fahrenheit. Okay, so Fahrenheit and the Celsius, these are the two measurement, two scales that are used to measure the temperature. So the first one is the Celsius. If we consider, if we compare these two with each other, see both the scales are used to measure the temperature, the Celsius and the Fahrenheit. So but these differs. Okay, these two differ from each other. So if we count the temperature in the Celsius, then the freezing point is 0 degree Celsius. In Celsius, freezing point of water, we can say that is the 0 degree Celsius, and boiling point is 100 degree Celsius. But if the same measurement of temperature is counted with the Fahrenheit, then the freezing point of water is 32 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and the boiling point of the water, that is 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so that temperature is equal, but the scales are different. Okay, so these are the two scales that are generally used for the measurement of temperature. So here in this session we have studied about the climate, then the weather, and the elements that affect that on the weather. Okay, elements of weather. Out of the 6 elements of weather, one that we have studied, temperature. The remaining that we will discuss in the coming sessions. Thank you for attending the session.